Well, welcome to Sty Times, guys. Hey, it's great to see you. Great to see you. Another Sty Times. Yeah. I think I'm gonna have some fun with this topic. I'm gonna have some fun with this topic. Now, I tell you what, honest is the best policy. Oh, you betcha. So, honestly, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna shout out a few folks that were in the chat early. Uh, David Jones came in real early, saying hello. And Will the Rocker, he's popped right in there. And Kirk Whipper, Voyager Center. Tim, awesome. Eileen Valou, the fam. Ooh, great to see you. Oh, and there's Crazy Ann. Hey, sweetie. It's good to see you guys. Good to see y'all. Yeah, honesty is the best policy. Hi, Andrew. um, I've had so many people for many years get on this topic with me. And for a lot of us, we feel that. We believe that. Hey, honesty is the best policy. Um, you lie to people, boy, you better have a pretty good memory and recall every single lie you ever tell. Yeah. Being honest, you don't have to worry about it so much because you just said it the way it was, right? Well, that can backfire sometimes too. We're going to talk about that a little bit. Hey, James with Chasing the Reapers here. Great to see you. Great to see you. Yeah, honesty is the best policy. I I have I guess that's one of my weaknesses is I have a tendency to just be as honest as I possibly can. I and sometimes I kick myself and I go, you should have just shut up. You did not have to be so honest. Well, at those times, it's because my honesty really hurt somebody where they felt really bad hearing what I had to say honestly. Well, then I honestly felt responsible and I felt bad. So I honestly tell them I honestly didn't have any ill intent. Trying to be honest every minute of the day, honestly, is a very hard job. It's very hard. You can be honest all day long, just be blatantly honest all day long. But I mean, you're like a bull in a china shop, running loose when you're just blatantly honest all day long. So for me, honesty isn't the only best policy, it's a two-part best policy. For me, personally, I have to tell myself, be honest or be quiet. Now, a lot of you are going to say, when the heck has old Sty ever been quiet, right? Well, I've been in predicaments where I realized, oh, oh, if I'm not pressed, I'll just be quiet because I don't think they want to hear my honesty. I want to be honest, but for my own self preservation, I'll choose to be quiet. So I think being honest or quiet is the best policy. You got to pick one of the two because anything you say that's not truly honest, we all know what those are called. And you don't want to be caught up in that. You don't want to be caught up in that. The It's not always you can be that. Sometimes it is best to bite your tongue. There you go, Aunt. That's it. That's exactly it. Mm. Bite the tongue and say, uh-huh. Honesty isn't the best of the two choices today. I think today, just being quiet, just don't say nothing is the best policy. It's always they want you to be honest either. It's not always they want you to be honest either. Well, and that's it. That's it. And the thing is I'm the other way around. I'd rather a person's just come out, be honest with me, you know? If you had, because if it, you might have an, you might feel a certain way and you're afraid to say it to me. And it could be actually a good thing, but you're thinking that I'll take it as inappropriate or something. Or it could be something you're being honest about that might hurt my feelings. I want to hear it either way because if I'm doing something and your honest view of that is the only way I'm going to find out that I'm out of line, well, then I'd rather hear the honest comment. And if you've got something to say about a way you feel about me in any way that's positive, but you think I might say, well, you know, I don't want to hear it, you know. Well, actually, I do want to hear it. I want to hear it both ways. I want to hear the good, bad, and the ugly. I don't care. And that's what honesty is. It's the good, bad, and the ugly. Now, honesty doesn't mean it's the truth. Really, it doesn't. It doesn't mean it's the truth. The second half of today's show, I'm gonna give some examples, and you're gonna go, oh, Sty, yeah, um, yeah. Abe Lincoln always would say, "Be honest." I cut down the cherry tree, but he told me to. Now that's being honest. That's being honest. I did cut it down. I cut down that cherry tree, but he convinced me, man. He's been telling me for the last week, cut down the cherry tree. Go ahead, cut it down. Cut down the cherry tree. And I got tired of listening to him, so I cut down the cherry tree. So I'm being totally honest. I cut it down, but it's his fault. Is that true? No, not totally. Not totally. Because I didn't have to cut down the cherry tree just because he kept telling me to. But at least I'm being honest about it that his influence kind of pushed me down that path. Yeah. The the Scott's when I'm live at 5 Mountain Time. I invented the rock. That's good. I like that. Yeah. Yeah. You know, the just a little point of information, guys. Don't forget, go Granny's GoFundMe is out there. Eileen, she's getting it up there, keeping it going. We want to keep helping her out whenever we can, help her recover from this fire. Things are starting to happen for her, but there's a lot of costs coming up. Yeah. So anytime we can kick her a couple of bucks, it helps. Yeah. Okay. Anne says, when I start to speak my mind instead of shut up, it often backfires on me. So I have learned not to always be honest just because they will rather hear something else than what I want to say. Yeah. And that's the be quiet part. Yeah. Be honest or be quiet. And that's, hey, Killer Creations. Great to see you. But that's, to me, that's just being courteous to someone that you are acquaintances with. They could be a regular acquaintance, they could be a dear friend, they could be a family member. It's just the courteous thing to do sometimes is choose between being honest or quiet. And a lot of times being quiet is really you've made the determination that it's better for them, for you not to be honest. Now, a lot of people say, oh, but that's lying through omission. By keeping your mouth shut, it's just like lying. I never in my life have agreed with that unless you keeping your mouth shut led to someone being hurt, somebody actually being hurt because of you not being honest about something, not speaking out. But in any other case, if the fact that you just didn't speak your mind, that didn't hurt anybody. If it didn't hurt anybody, then yeah, you got all the right in the world to just not speak your mind. Hey, Spicy, great to see you, Phil. The the oh yeah, Will's making egg scramble. Num 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 num. But yeah, I have a tendency to speak my mind, you know. And when someone's speaking to me like they honestly believe what they're saying, but it's honestly contradicting me, then I'll be honest with them. And most of the time that's, I don't care what you think. I didn't want to hear what you had to say. You can go kiss my butt. I'll just be honest with you. Boy, you wasted your wind telling me that crap. I didn't want to hear that. So be prepared. If you want to be honest, be willing to accept honesty in return. And true honesty, like I said, doesn't mean honesty in itself is not the truth. The only truth honesty is the truth of it is that's what's in your mind and you're letting it fall out your mouth. That's what honesty is. Doesn't mean that what's in your mind is fact or the truth, but it is what you're thinking. And if you're being honest about it, you say what you think. And you tell that person, I think you're full of it. Heck. So goodbye. Now I'm going to pick the other option. I'm going to be quiet. Honestly. I think you get kind of my frame of mind the older you get. They say, oh no, that's just old age. You're getting cynical. You're just a cynical old man. No, 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 no. It's just that. Hey, Samantha Lee, good to see you, girl. Hi, 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 hi. I know because I'm not just a cynical old man. I'm just tired of trying to judge whether or not someone can handle the truth. I'm tired of having to think through it all the time. I'm an old man. It takes me a little effort just to think, let alone decide whether I should be honest or be quiet. Nah, the hell with it. I'll just be honest. I'll be honest. The Will says, I'm going to be honest. Words hurt. I always tell everyone kind words become respect is the best. I was brought up. Best etiquette. Yeah. Yeah. Well, and see, and that's it. Is to just be openly honest isn't a bad thing if your intent is good. If you've got good intent, you can be honest in a friendly, soft, appropriate way, or in a fun, kind of funny, hilarious way. It all depends on who you're being honest with. There are people in the world that it is best just not to be honest with them. I don't mean go lie to them. Just be quiet. Just don't go there because they can't deal well with honesty. Hey, Grandpa Kevin, good to see you, Kevin. I Yeah, I can't wait till after the halftime break to tell you some real life honesty situations that I partook in. I was the perpetrator, and it really opened some eyes, though. It really opened some eyes of what the world would be like if we were just honest, and say what we see, say what we think, you know? Don't be shy about it, just say it. Don't worry about if it hurts their feelings or not. Holy cow, they better grow up and get the thicker skin. Maybe they need to just turn around and be honest right back at you, right? Yeah. It's like the example I was giving you, somebody, they believe they're being perfectly honest and they're putting you down through it. And then you say, hey, okay, cool. I heard it. Yeah, I heard what you had to say, and you honestly believe that. My turn. Honestly, I don't give a shit. And laugh at them. Honestly, honestly, I don't care. I don't care what you felt, honestly. Not if it was BS. I don't care. But if it was something that was true and you revealed your honest feelings about it, that gives the other person time to reflect on themselves and say, oh, I didn't realize that that's the way it appeared to that person. I can change that. I can work on that. I don't have to lie about it. And I can tell them, honestly, it's going to be tough for me to change me. You know, I am what I am. But thank you for being honest. So maybe I can work on myself a little bit. That won't hurt. Yeah. Don't cost me nothing to work on myself a little bit on how I communicate with others. Honesty, the best policy. Unless there's going to be somebody hurt out of the deal, then be quiet. Don't be honest, be quiet. The Andrew was saying some people can't handle the truth, but I have found that a lot of cases it helps the person in the long run. Well, that's it. That's it. See, and that's one thing. That's why I like honesty. I like blatant honesty. Not many people really appreciate blatant honesty, where a person just comes right out and says how they feel, especially when it comes to a person's feelings and their emotions. I like their blatant honesty. Don't doctor it up. Don't sweeten it up with a little sugar and mold it into something softer and nicer. Just say it. How do you feel? What do you think? I might not like it, but it wouldn't be long before I'd be thinking about it. And like I said, that gives me the opportunity to say, ooh, yeah, boy, when I'm being honest, they were honest. Yeah, I believe it. Yeah. Hey, Mike's Outdoors and Adventures. Awesome to see you. Dr. Smith X, number 10. It's great to see all you guys. The here's the point. I mean, I tried to explain the honesty is the best policy thing to somebody once, and they just couldn't get it. And they said it's so hard to be honest with somebody because you know it's going to probably hurt them. Hey, Barnyard Chicken, great to see you. And I tell them, well, that's why you have to weigh whether you're going to be honest or just be quiet. You know, here's a perfect example. There's a part of me. Now you'll think, oh, that Sty, he's terrible. He's terrible, that guy. But keep in mind, there is a part of me that would want to be blatantly honest in this situation. But there's another part of me that is more concerned for the recipient. So I would choose to be quiet. So you're walking down the street, and here comes this fella. You haven't seen him in 10 years. And it's just like, oh, wow, that's so and so. I haven't seen him in forever. And you come face to face and you're going, oh, hey, Joe, how's it going? I haven't seen you for. And you're looking at him and you go, this, if you're going to be blatantly honest, you go, my God, man. And he goes, what? It's good to see you too. No. Geez, at first I thought you had 3 eyes. That's the biggest zit I've ever seen on a person's forehead. Look at that big old zit in the middle of your forehead. You look like a cyclops, for crying out loud. You got a 3rd eye in the middle of your head. That thing's enormous. Man, does that stand out? I ain't seen nothing like that. Well, now that's being blatantly honest. That's just, that's exactly what you're thinking. You're thinking, oh my God, that's the biggest zit in the world. I ain't never seen one so big, especially in the middle of a person's forehead. But you ain't going to say that. Even though it's perfectly honest to say it, it's being perfectly honest. So you have to make that choice. I would make the choice. I'd be so tempted to just say it, be honest about it, just say, my God, man, it's good to see you, but that zit's scaring me to death. I would instead choose the quiet option. And it would be, yeah, Joe, it's been great. It's been great to see you. And I would do my best not to look at his forehead, and no mention of zits or complexion or anything. I wouldn't be saying, oh, yeah, boy, you look healthy and your complexion looks so good, other than that big 3rd eye in the middle of your head. Now, see, you don't even go there. You just don't. You just be honest or be quiet. And I would have chosen to be quiet in that case. I mean, I don't want, the only thing he remembers of us meeting again is I was honest about this big zit in the middle of his forehead. I don't want him to go home thinking, geez, I had a perfect day until I met Sty for the first time in 10 years. And the only thing he could do is go, oh my Lord, look at the big zit on your head. Yeah. So we do it. In that case, honesty would not be the best policy because you would never see that guy again. It would be a lot more than 10 years before he'd ever want to cross your path again. That's just part of it, Samantha Lee saying, I agree that honesty is the best, but sometimes one person's honesty isn't always fact. One person may feel one way when others may feel different about someone or something. Absolutely, girl, and that's what I was talking about earlier, is that's what true honesty is honesty's not truth. It's not truth. It's not the fact. Oh, Mike, you waste. Mike, what in the world are you doing, bud? Look at you. Hey, awesome. I honestly don't want to give you this. See, Mike and I get along so good because we could be honest with each other. We can be honest with each other because if we don't agree with each other, guess what we do? We laugh about it. We laugh about it and say, "Hey, that's isn't that just the way it is?" Because we don't allow ourselves to be insulted by each other's honesties, you know? Hey, Rain Dancer, it's awesome to see you. Awesome. And thank you very much, Mike. Honestly, honestly, thank you very much. And you didn't have to do it, buddy. I, you know, the second half of the show, I'm gonna get into a little bit of storytelling about being honest, and Mike's outdoors. You did not have to do that, bud. Oh, wow. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Honesty. Keep up the good work. Honestly, keep up the good work. Well, thank you. I'm glad that you feel that way. I am very glad that you feel that way. The I have some very close friends that they're not shy. They'll put out in the comments. Um, I have one that if they were watching, I know what they put out there. They'd say, "Honestly, I can't stand you. You drive me nuts." I know that's what they'd put in there. But we love each other, and I know that individual. They'll be back out at camp with me, and we'll be sitting at that table at the campfire having a good meal. And if he doesn't, I will come up with something where the other one's going to just be blatantly honest about something. And then we're off and running. Then what we have is 2 hours of being just flat out honest with each other. I'll tell you what, you talk about laugh. You laugh your ass off if you get someone close and dear to you that's willing to be blatantly honest. It can be so much fun to get it all off your chest. I, you know what? I've been waiting for years, but tonight I'm going to be honest. I'm going to tell you. It gets so funny. Because again, like Samantha was talking about, is some people they think they're being honest with you, but actually it's not. What they're telling you isn't the truth. Don't ever count on honesty being the truth or a fact. Honesty is it's an emotional process. It is not a factual process. It's honesty is allowing what you emotionally feel and think to be revealed. You might think it's all fact and it's no ifs, ands, or buts. BS. It's not. It's your emotions and your feelings and the thoughts related to them falling out of your mouth. You're allowing it to fall out of your mouth. You're just reflecting on what you see. And you might be seeing it totally wrong, but it doesn't matter because at least you're still being honest because you've opened your mind up publicly, is what you've done. That's what you think. Um, oh, Rain Dancer, back in the hospital again. Something with your stomach. Oh, prayers out your way. Big prayers. The Mike's Outdoors. Sty's a really good guy from what I've seen so far. That yes, and I have to say the same. I have to say the same of you. I've got just a very few people in this YouTube world that I have issues with. I wouldn't turn my back on them. I don't turn them away, and sometimes their honesty is so out there. I'll get through a program or a show, or I'll be at somebody else's show or something, and I'll get through it, and then I laugh my butt off because that's just the way it is. Well, guys, we're at the halfway point of the show. I'm going to run this little 1-minute clip. Don't anybody go anywhere because we're going to have a lot more fun in the second half because we're going to talk about real life honesty and how people respond to it. It's going to be pretty good. I think you'll like to hear a little Sty story stuff. Okay. So we'll see you in about 1 minute. That's some really wonderful folks. Just being honest with you. Just being honest with you. Before I get going in the second half too far here, I really do want to let you all know, where did the topic come from? This is something I had thought about for a while and put on my topic list. Actually, no. I'll be honest with you. I was having a very wonderful private conversation with Samantha Lee's Originals. Samantha and I were just chatting away one afternoon. And I can't even remember how we got onto it. But I told her about a couple of times that I just decided to just be blatantly honest. And she was laughing so hard. I think she was thinking, Sty, my poor crazy friend. And she said, Sty, you have got to do a show about honesty and tell them what you were telling me. She said, the folks will really, really get a kick out of it. And I wasn't so sure. And then I told her, I guess so. I'll put it on my show list. And it came up as the next show to do. So that's how we ended up here. Doing honesty is the best policy. That's how we ended up here. Thanks to Samantha Lee's Originals telling me, hey, you got to put that on your show list. That's the second suggestion of hers that's on my show list. The other one, that's down the road somewhere. My shows, I've got a list of all the topics that I've developed to this point, and I got little cheat sheets on each one, blah, 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 blah. And there's quite a few of them. And I run them through a random number generator, and it picks a number, and I go through my show list, and look at that number. And if that show's already been done, I run it again until it hits a show that I have not produced yet, and that becomes my next show. So Monday's show was randomly picked. I didn't pick it for any specific reason or anything. So that's how that happens. It was kind of surprising because it was, I don't know, Samantha probably recalls, but it was a week or two ago that we had that conversation. So it hadn't been on the list long, but it popped up. It popped up. The number generator must have thought, yeah, let's see if he can do an honesty show here. So here we are, last half of the show. And Samantha says, you had me laughing so hard, Sty. Yeah, I was surprised that she found it so humorous. Okay. So I had this wilderness skills camp, right? And I had clients. Well, when you're with clients, they have a basic impression of what you should be when they're there. I was the instructor, so they figured, well, this guy is going to be a woodsman, he's going to be an outdoorsman, and he's going to teach us these skills, and he'll be kind of professional like, and this guy will know what he's doing, and so I had to put that persona on, that's the way I am for my clients. Well, we'd loosen up a little bit around the campfire at night, and you get to know each other a little more personal, but I still always had to keep in mind there's a client and provider relationship here. This is a business transaction. Well, towards the end of one of the seasons, I was getting kind of burned out from being professional all the time and not saying what I think, and because my two partners, they knew I said whatever was on my mind, it came out of my mouth, and they understood. They understood not to get insulted by the things I say, because it's just my mind falling out of my mouth, And they appreciated it, actually. They said, well, then we know where your mind's at today. Uh-huh. So I had my grandson, one of my grandsons, helping me out at camp. And Brian, our prayers out to you, bud. God bless you and your brother. His brother passed away 6:06 p.m. at the age of 57. That's sad. That is very sad. Yeah. In all honesty, Brian, that does break my heart to hear. That's because I know you've been struggling with that for a while. The inevitable. You knew what was coming. It was terrible. Yeah. May he rest in peace and God bless him. So at the end of that season, my grandson's there, and he'll be heading home soon from camp. He had spent, I don't remember, 2 months with me. Well, we'd go to town once a month. That's all we ever went to town, was once a month. And that was to get supplies to get us through the next month. Well, we decided that instead of going to the big town, which was 45 miles away, we're going to go to this little small tourist town. And we thought, well, the supplies we need, we don't have to drive all the way to the big town for them because they're basic supplies. But it was quite a bit. So we knew it was going to take a whole afternoon. So off we went. Me, my grandson, and one of my partners. That partner was Rory, little gal that she was our logistics specialist for the business, and makes sense to take the logistics specialist with you when you're going out there to buy supplies, right? Well, she was a character, and she laughed a lot. She loved to laugh, anything to make her laugh. Well, we got to town, and we're in this grocery store, big grocery store. It all started when we're going through the produce, and there's a gal, and they've got muskmelons, cantaloupes, right, in this big box there. And this gal's picking those up, and she's squeezing those just hard, just. And I'm watching her. Rory, she's getting foodstuffs off the shelves we're buying. My grandson, he's just kind of standing there hanging out with me. And I'm watching this gal. And I thought, she's bruising every one of those. Man, I could see fingerprints on some of them she was squeezing. And then she took one, she squeezed it a bit, and she banged it against that wooden box that they were all in. She banged it against the side of it, looked at it, squeezed it some more, and then put it back in the box and grabbed another. I had had enough. So I go, excuse me. And she turns around. She's holding one of those muskmelons. And she goes, what? What do you want? I said, well, I was just wondering, how would you like it if I came up and squeezed your melons like that and banged one against that wooden box? She goes, you what? And I said, I hope you find one you like and have a nice day. And I walked. I was blatantly honest with her. I was blatantly honest. How would you like that if I went over there and did that to you? Rory didn't miss that. She spun around. She goes, Sty, you're not out at camp. I said, what? It doesn't matter if you're at camp or not. Honesty holds no bounds. You know, there's no boundaries on honesty. Honesty is just what's ever in your mind falling out your mouth. And she goes, if you shit out of your mouth one more time, I'm sending you back out to the truck. You ain't coming. You ain't staying in the store. We get to the meat department. There's this young gal, cute little young gal there. In her 20s, you know. And she's got this big buck with her, man. This guy's built, boy. Oh, yeah. Muscle-bound bugger, you know, just showing his shit off. Yeah, he's wearing an old wife-beater T-shirt and all, you know. He's all that, right? And I'm standing there looking at summer sausage. I love summer sausage. I'm looking at summer sausages. And I'm just looking at those two thinking, huh, what a couple. What a couple. I bet you she's just, I don't know who's happier, him or her, you know. Just look at her, boy. She's got the biggest damn smile on her face. And she picks this roast up and she says to this big, beefy guy next to her, she goes, isn't that a nice piece of meat? And that's when she realized, hey, somebody's standing right there. She turns and looks at me and she goes, would you mind minding your own business? I said, it's a public grocery store. I'm sorry, but it is. And she goes, but you don't have to stick your nose into our business. I said, and you and him don't have to be comparing meat at the meat counter. I was just being honest. Because she had that look on her face like he knew what she was talking about. In my mind, I thought, I know exactly what she's saying. Isn't that a nice piece of meat? Yeah. Yeah, I know where she was going with that stuff. That's terrible. Terrible. So Rory was at the end of the aisle, overheard it, comes over. That's it, Sty. Go sit out in the truck and wait for me and your grandson to get done shopping, and we'll see you out there. So I'm out there, diddling around. Well, hey, hi, Kiki. Good to see you. So I'm out there just hanging around the truck, standing outside, leaning against it, having a smoke, drinking a can of pop, looking, watching people. It's a tourist town. It's a port town on Lake Superior, and it's a big hilly town, and the big marina and all the boats and everything. It gets a lot of summer tourism. Well, I'm looking at all these thousands of tourists wandering around town. And I'm the kind of person, when I watch somebody walking by, I try to read their persona, wonder what that person's about. Huh, look at that person. You see some guy wearing a winter coat in July in northern Wisconsin, and you're going, did he just realize that winter's over? Or what, did he get out of the nut house? Or, things go through your mind. You start reading people. Well, here comes my grandson and Rory out of the store, and they got two guys that work in the store pushing carts for them. Because when we bought stuff, man, we'd fill 4 grocery carts heap full. Rory wouldn't let me or my grandson load the groceries into the truck because she said, you guys don't care enough. You'll smash things, you'll break things, you'll squish things. She had these guys from the store helping her put all those grocery bags and everything just the way she wants them in the truck. My grandson leans up against the truck next to me and he goes, this is going to take a while. I said, yeah. And he goes, a lot of people in town today. And I said, yeah. I said, oh, hey, buddy, check this out. Down the sidewalk comes this guy. He's a big guy. Probably about 6'4". He's a big, tall guy. But he was just about as round as he was tall. Big guy. And he's got this little good-looking gal next to him. And they're both holding hands. They're holding the hands of a little boy that couldn't have been but maybe 3-4 years old. She was very dark complected, brown eyes, very, very dark skinned, and he was also dark skinned, black hair, had hazel eyes. That kid was the most ginger kid I've ever seen in my life. That kid's skin was the color of milk. The freckles, the skin was so white that his freckles popped out at you like somebody had taken a red pen and just that flaming orange hair. And the gal, she's holding that little boy's hand, and she's just looking around the town. You can tell they're tourists, She's just looking around all the shops and everything. That little kid, he's got a smile on his face. He's walking along with mommy and daddy. And there's great big old daddy. He got the little boy's hand, and he's got this ear-to-ear grin. walking down that sidewalk, proud as can be. And I said to my grandson, I said, "You see that couple with the little kid coming towards us right there? Now we're talking at a normal voice tone, we're not quiet. And the place, it's busy out there on the street. There's a lot of people around." And my grandson goes, "Why? Well, what about him?" I said, "Well, look at him. Look at her." And he goes, "Yeah." Now, mind you, my grandson is half Cameroonian. He's half actual African. His father is right from Cameroon. I said, "Now, you see those two? You see the parents?" He goes, "Yeah." I said, "Look at the kid." And he looks at the kid. He kind of giggles and he goes, "What about the kid?" I go, "If that kid ain't adopted, that guy should not have that smile on his face." And I'm pointing right at the guy. I turn and looked, and there's Rory, and her chin is right on her chest. She just, "Sty, you can't." Everybody on the sidewalk turned and looked at this couple and that kid. They're all checking out. And I saw people walking away nodding their heads. Uh-huh. Yep. That ain't his boy. If that kid ain't adopted, why are you smiling like that? You should have a look for your spouse like, "I's gonna kill you." You know, I know weird things happen. Might pop out a ginger and you just don't see it coming. But that whole situation just did not add up. And I said it. I said it. My grandson went down on one knee, holding his stomach. He was laughing so hard as these people walked past us. Rory finally got her voice back, and she said, "If you ever say something on the street like that around me again, you're never, ever going to town again. You're staying at camp forever, the rest of your life." And I go, "Why?" And she goes, "Look around. There's still people watching that couple walk down the sidewalk." She says, "I bet you 15 people heard you say that." Oh, okay. Oh, obviously that big guy didn't hear it. He's still smiling. Oh, she got mad. "Don't say that. I'm just being honest. Come on. It might not be true. Anything that I'm suggesting may not be true. But I'm being honest about what I see, what I think, what I feel." So we're in this discussion, and then all of a sudden I go, "Whoa, Salem," my grandson. I go, "Whoa, whoa, check that guy out across the street." That guy, that must happen to him because he turned and looked right at me. Turned and looked right at me. Great big tall bugger again. Real dorky looking guy though. Looked like a guy that drags his knuckles down the sidewalk. And he's got himself this cutesy, very young, cutesy girl that he's holding hands with. And he's walking down the sidewalk right across the street from us. And it's just a narrow little town street. He's walking. But he stood out so much because here he is. He's wearing the blue jeans and he's got a belt on with a big old buckle like that, big fancy buckle. He's got cowboy boots, a Western style shirt, and this big Stetson hat. And I'm pointing right at him. "Check that guy out there, Salem. Look at that guy there." Salem goes, "What about him?" And I go, "He ain't never rode anything. He ain't never rode no horse." I said, "There's no way he ever rode a horse. I bet you that guy ain't no cowboy. Look at that. He's in northern Wisconsin in an apple growing community that's a port town that has commercial fishing. And he's dressed up like Tex Williams here." I said, "He's now no cowboy." And I said, "The only thing he's ever ridden is that little filly he's got with him." That was it. That was it. It was it. Yeah, somehow they can't take I know where that's exactly what Rory said. Sty, get in the truck. Get in the truck. Keep the windows up. I said, it's hot in there. No, you get in there, keep the windows up. You're not saying nothing about nobody, no how, no way, all the way back to camp. All the way through town. I'm doing about 10 miles an hour. Oh, check them out. Look at those people there. Check that one out over there. Oh, she was so mad at me. But when I'd look at her, she'd get that serious mad look. But she had tears in her eyes, and my grandson sitting behind her, he's going, yeah, she's laughing to death over here. When you're not looking, she's laughing. All it was. And she asked me, why in the world would you allow yourself to come right out and say those things? I said, I want to know why it upsets anybody that I just say what I see or feel, or, you know, I don't understand why it upsets people. And she goes, because you shouldn't be saying those things. I said, everybody. I said, I proved it with the first couple and the little kid. Everybody turned and looked. And if you looked at their faces, you same with the cowboy, had the exact same effect. And you looked at those people's faces that heard what I said, half of them were going, nodding their heads. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. They're not saying nothing, but they chose be honest or be quiet. They just chose to be quiet. But their old heads were talking. They're nodding their heads like, yeah, I see exactly what that boy was talking about. All I did was say what so many others were thinking. I was just being honest. It doesn't mean it's true. Heck, that cowboy guy, maybe he rides in a damn rodeo. I don't know the guy, but it just looks so out of place. Just looks so out of place that there's no way I was convinced that that guy's a cowboy. But he thought he was, and he ain't been riding no horses. Giddy up, giddy up. That big guy, he sure didn't look Irish, but his little boy looked like he just crawled out from under the bridge in his leprechaun suit. Yeah. Honesty isn't guaranteed to always be the best policy. But by golly, sometimes just being honest can lift your spirits, take a load off of your back. To me, being just blatantly honest sometimes is like being in a mountain meadow with a beautiful mountain lake, miles and miles and miles from anybody else in the world, stripping out of your birthday suit and running through the meadow and jumping in the lake. You'll remember it forever, and it felt so good. Can't do it all every day, but sometimes honesty is the funnest policy. Hey, stay honest with yourselves, stay honest with your friends. Don't let honesty hurt people. And always remember, honesty isn't the truth or the facts. It's your heart, your soul, your mind coming out of your mouth. You're opening yourself wide open and being honest. So, love you all, and that's truly honest. You're great. My audiences are awesome. I've got a day off tomorrow. A very busy working day tomorrow. And then I'm back Sunday for Sty Story Sunday at 7 p.m. Central Time. And I will hopefully see you folks there. If not, Monday evening for the Next topic. Now, the next topic is just a little bit of YouTube kind of, well, it's live streaming advice in that show. And watch the end of this and you'll see what the title is. And I hope to see you Monday evening. Give you a little bit of advice about coming out on stage. So until then, love y'all, and we'll see you soon. Take very good care of yourselves. Bye bye.